Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yo, what up, It's your boy Rubino.
And this DJ in the building.
And you listening to the UpNUp Podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we doing?
I don't know, just listen.
Yes. Welcome.
What it do?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into the UpNUp Podcast. I'm your host, Rubino.
And I'm DJ man.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling.
You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling great?
Yep.
You were celebrating a birthday last weekend. So
you know. So
had to give you a shout out.
Yeah, good looking, man. You know, I'm still recovering.
Another year. Oh, yeah, for sure. This weekend was lit. For those of you tuning in right now, I just want to thank you guys. And for first-time listeners out there, man, hence the name UpNUp. You know, this platform is created simply to cultivate the culture, share amazing, great, passionate stories of individuals who are grinding, man, you know, on the up and up, going after what they want, you know, letting nothing get in the way of that. And you know, I'm feeling inspirational right now, man. We got because I'm just saying, man, we got a really, really special guest. But before I get to that, I do want to, you know, also shout out and thank all the listeners, the viewers, you know, the consistent supporters out there. You know, make sure to rate, subscribe, review. You can catch all our episodes on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, all that.
Yep.
All that. Yes, sir. Now, like I said, we do have a special guest, and you know, we never come up short with that.
Never,
right? Today's guest on the Up and Up, you know, I would say, you know, this man, although I've just met him officially for the first time today, I have been following and really tapping in with what's going on in our city, you know, on our home front. And, you know, he's a man who's created a lane for himself, right? And his people through his art and expression. That's one way I would describe it. A true visionary who's always keeping everything he does on the up and up. Otherwise, he would not be here today, obviously. Someone who's helping, you know, put the city of Seattle on the map in this thing we call hip hop, right? Definitely, I would say so. And, you know, with his new album out now, titled Drive Theory, out on all platforms, so make sure you go get that. Our guest is none other than the driven, ultra creative, and culture cultivator himself, Raz Simone. Can we get a round of applause for my brother?
Good looking.
Yes, sir.
Love, y'all.
How you doing, man?
Too kind.
Too kind? Hey, man, we just show love, man. That's what we're doing.
I appreciate it.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling well.
You good?
Real well.
Thank you for coming to the show, man. We appreciate having you. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with our podcast, but when we start off, we always got a quote of the day, right? And it's just to get our minds right, get the vibe right. You know, and my brother across the way over here, he's a wordsmith. So what you got for me, man?
All right,
what's today's quote?
This one's a little short, but it's sweet. So the quote of the day is, when words fail, music speaks.
Who's that by?
Hans Christian Andersen. Okay. I don't know who the hell that is, but that's a fire ass quote.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So when words fail, music speaks. Now, to kind of tell you why, so we bring in the quotes because obviously we wanted to have something that ties in directly to our guest story, right? And for you being an artist, and we'll get into the album and all that, but I do want to kind of scale back, take it back a little bit, and kind of let the people know kind of who Raz Simone is, you know, and where did it start for you? You're from Seattle, right?
Yeah, I'm from town.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I guess, you know, if you can, how was it growing up here, and how did that kind of inspire, you know, the artist you are today, but also maybe the man you are today as well?
I think growing up here was great. You know, I've traveled a lot. I've lived and stayed in a lot of different places, like Atlanta, you know, Detroit, New York, DC, you know, all over, Philly, all over, family all over. So I've gotten to tap into lots of different spots. Okay. And everywhere I go, I really appreciate the town, you know. Like I wouldn't, if I look at the different paths that I could have been on, you know, like I could have been grown up in Detroit with the rest of my brothers and sisters, you know. I would have been a different person completely, you know. If I would have grown up over here, I would have been different. And I feel like there's so many resources out here, but luckily how I grew up with all those resources. I grew up with a bunch of backbones that were like some really solid people, like my mom. That's, you know, a solid person. But then I also grew up with, you know, with not a lot, you know, there's a lot of like little stresses and little things like that, and that helped craft me as well, you know. So I feel like I got the best of both worlds of not getting too much to where I'm starting off at a plateau and, you know, I don't know where to go, or I've got so much that I don't even appreciate when I have a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of been conditioned.
But then I also got so much when it comes to like love and you know, and wise words and, you know, things like that. So it's like I can really appreciate the
it sounds like a healthy balance, man.
You know, and even stuff like, you know, when you go south, like some family members, you know, just have a really thick Southern accent, and I like it, it's dope. But at the same time, if you don't know how to switch and go here and go there, like, you know, the fact that I'm able to switch and speak, hi, you know,
code switching, they call it code switching.
You know, like all that stuff, and speak a bunch of languages. You know, I'm a linguist. I love language, so it's like being able to speak those languages, connect with so many people. I think is a dope thing. So I appreciate what I got. You know, of course, it could always be better, but I appreciate, you know, the base that I was given.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's a diverse city. You know,
definitely.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Not as much as I like it to be, but
it's diverse, but it's little bits of everything. So you know, if you're in the right spots, you get it. But
you'll get it. You got to know where to go though.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, hell yeah. So how long you been in the game, bro?
Since I was about 14. Yeah. So like I think it was when I was 14. That was when I started putting the words to music around there.
And you started off in poetry. I had read a little bit about your story where hip hop wasn't really an interest of yours early on, right?
Yeah. No.
You was like, I'm doing the poetry thing. I'm not.
Yeah. No. I poetry got me. You know, when we doing like creative writing class. You know, that was when it was like, ooh, it's dope. You know, did the, you know, wrote my first poem, performed it, and it was an amazing feeling. But hip hop didn't register with me. I didn't hear anything that was like, oh yeah, that's me. But I wasn't listening for anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Know? So that was the thing.
That's strange, man.
Because
you always assume, you know, especially you've been in the game since you're 14. You always assume rappers grew up, you know, obviously we're all influenced by hip hop in some way, but you want to be a rapper. It's just, that's it. That's what got you in the game. But you kind of had a different. I guess
it was like I realized that I was rapping later in the game because people were like, "Bro, you're rapping." I'm like, "Nah, I'm just poetry." Talking about.
I'm just nice with these words.
Man. You know, so then it was like, "Oh shoot, like I'm rapping."
Yeah.
You know.
Man, and that's dope. I think a lot of people don't understand that hip hop is multifaceted. At the end of the day, it's not just rap, right?
Yeah.
You know, you got DJing, you got, you know, breaking, b-boying, and all that.
Yeah.
And that poetry, I throw poetry in there as well. So it just shows you really got a thorough understanding of hip hop.
Man, I feel like I got the like the intuition. You know, it was like the intuition was there because I didn't know all my history. I don't know all of like the things that you would know if you were, you know, a hip hop 101 class or something. You know, like, you know, so I missed those things, but the intuition was like it's there in me. You know what I mean? It's not on me, it's in me. So I feel like it was like I couldn't even help it. You know, I didn't even know what it was, but it was still like, you know, I feel like it's kind of like you know, people have a connection with God even if they didn't grow up learning any religion or like, you know, they're in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing there, but they still have conversations with God. They still have some kind of connect. It's just in them, you know, to have that or something. I feel like it was something like that, you know.
So that's that innate ability to just do it. Now we're touching on Seattle. We're talking about kind of what got you into rapping. I often have conversations with people that live in this city about the state of hip hop, and when it comes to Seattle, I mean, now it's 2018. I don't really think regional boundaries exist anymore, you know, like they used to. But coming up in the city, how was it for you wanting to carve your own lane as a hip hop artist in this city that maybe didn't have an identity to the masses or to the world?
So I think I always kept my head down and stay down and you know, and stay respectful to everybody else that was doing things. You know, I think that when I was younger, there was definitely a little more of like an angsty fire in my soul just about the scene because, you know, looking at it just seemed so cliquey. It seemed like there were so many gatekeepers that didn't want to let people in. You know, and I didn't like that. You know, I thought that's whack, especially if, you know, you're an older cat and you have some knowledge to give to somebody that's maybe younger. Like, you should definitely do
Pay
that.
for it,
you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you? Like, it's not like a younger cast competition anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's
he
like
don't know no better too.
yeah, you know, you're supposed to do that. So
Yeah.
it's weird, but I've seen a lot of like older cats kind of just act like rats, like mice. Like, you know, like rats, the dads, they'll eat their children. A lot of times when they come out, so you gotta separate them. You know, if you're raising rats. I used to raise them because I had snakes.
That shit just turned into Animal Planet. I didn't even know that. All right.
So, you know, so it's kind of like you're supposed to be my big bro. You're teaching me how to do things, and then out of nowhere you look at me like, nah, man, you're not a big bro. You're bro. You know, now you're just another nigga that's in the way. That's, you know, that might be trying to get at this bitch that I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
or like,
yeah.
you know,
But it's real though, man. You see that even in hip hop today, like on Front Street, like, you know, the younger cats, like you take J. Cole, for instance, with making that song 1985, coming at these younger cats, right? But I think his approach is a little bit more in a mentoring type of way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I think I ain't listened to it so much, but I feel like his approach, you know, he had a good heart for it. It wasn't like he's jealous of these cats.
Exactly. But there are those.
But there are those cats.
There are those cats.
The jealousy is just, you know, just in their heart. And it's funny. I was just talking to my bros that just got out of prison the other day. I just pulled up on him yesterday, and we were chopping in T28. He's a dope rapper too. He's out here. So
Okay.
But you know, we were talking and just having these conversations, and I was just like, man, I just came to the bottom conclusion where it's like I can't even be mad at the bros or, you know, people that have jealousy in their heart, because it's just one of those things that has been pressed on us. It's been embedded in us for so long to, you know, to hate each other, or to, you know, to have that jealousy when somebody's doing something, you know, dope, because you're not, and especially when you know, you're malnourished and, you know, sleep deprived and all that stuff, you know, and you've been trying so hard to get to where they're at, and now they've got to where you wanted to get and surpassed it, and they're not kicking down to you as much as you would like them to, or you feel like they left you there, you know, and, you know, and there might be for a lot of reasons. They really might have just been like, fuck these niggas, or they might have been on some, man, I gotta separate myself a little bit because this shit is hot. Like, if I stay around here, I'm gonna get shot like everybody else, or I'm gonna get, you know, wrapped up into your guys' little, you know, bullshit stings and stuff because niggas is being sloppy or whatever, you know, like it might be something like that, or it might just be that niggas is hella busy, and you're not their, you know, you're not their bitch, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's real though,
you know?
man. Like, you know, as we get older, man, as you evolve, it's just a way of life, man. Everybody got their path, man. And you got to respect everybody's path, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But that's why I have understanding for people that are jealous. Like, you know, sometimes I used to be like, man, jealous ass, weirdo ass bitch niggas, you know, just kind of like leave it at that, like, like, man, you know, but now I kind of, it's more so like, I'm like, man, you need a hug, you know, like, I kind of understand, like, and I have a lot more compassion towards it, because, you know, in a funny way, but also in a serious way, where it's like I really do feel for, because I understand, like, it's something that's burning. Like, they don't even want that. They don't even, a lot of times they don't even understand that they're jealous.
Exactly.
Like, they're rationalizing with it so much to try to, because they're already trying to rationalize for how you could be being more successful than them with the same tools that they were given. You know, like, that just makes you feel like less of a man. If another man has the same two hands, same feet, came from the same block or the same area or the same city or whatever it is, you know, same age and everything, or younger or whatever it is, and now that person is doing better than you, or in the place that you like to be, like, you're sitting there feeling like, why am I inadequate? No, I can't be inadequate. My brain won't let me tell me that. So now I have to rationalize. So your subconscious is being like, okay, well, it's because they had this, or it's because they did this, or they probably did this, or they're not out here doing this. They probably did this, you know, and a lot of times it's not the case.
You're just trying to justify someone else's life, and it's like,
it's just that they're out there, you know.
It's
just it's just like people I see in the gym sometimes, you know, like we talking about dudes and like, oh man, it's just genetics, or whatever. And I'm like, well, shit. I mean, I can't lie, but, you know, niggas is way strong, but at the same time, man, cats have to work for this stuff. You know, we can either be really skinny and run as fast as heck, or we could be really buff. You know what I mean? Like, either way, we're gonna have to work for it. You know. I think.
Yeah, it's weird when people don't want to give props. You know, I think you just get what you put out in this world, right? Yeah, it's all energy, man. If you putting out that hate, you know what I mean. You know what's coming back. You just know, and sometimes you don't even know it's coming back. You just feel it, and it's just it's a continuing cycle.
So
no, that's real, man.
Yeah, so I used to have a little, you know, like my heart would run just because that click stuff, you know, and then there was like a thing where I felt like, man, we didn't have a a feel. Like, it wasn't really like a Seattle feel. You had cats that were doing like really New York stuff, or you had cats that are doing really like Bay Area stuff, like kind of on the Bay's dick, you know. And like, even it's funny because I saw like the Bay come out here, and like all the homies from the Bay would come out here and just like sweep up like on money, just getting hella money from verses, or you know, or doing shows, and all you know, all the Seattle homies just thought they were like most famous stuff, but then they go somewhere else, and it's not like that so much. Really, like the Bay really ate off Seattle more than almost anywhere. You know, for whatever reason, we didn't want to appreciate what we had here. We wanted to, you know, appreciate them, and we wanted to be them. You know, not all of us, but you know what I mean. There's a handfuls, you know. So I used to look at that like, man, that's not good. You know, we gotta have some self love.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's
like,
the thing. We talk about that shit all the time. Like when I said there's no regional boundaries, you take it back to like 05, right? If Irma was to say, yo, I got this new artist, he's dope. First thing I'm probably gonna ask is, where's he from? Right? I'm like, where's he from? And then he'll say a city, and I'm gonna try to identify that city with whoever else came out that city, and then that will let me know if I validate him. Before I even heard a song, I'm still thinking, where is he from? You know, and I feel like that was a problem in hip hop for a while, especially in Seattle, when you say, oh, this dude's from Seattle. Like,
you think cats still aren't asking where he's from?
Nah, no, it don't exist no more. But I'm saying, like,
you think they're not?
I don't know, man. I feel like
cats are still asking where the niggas from.
Just to know,
like,
curiosity.
I think that
so?
Like, if you're talking about country music or pop music, like that never comes up. You know, most people didn't even know like Britney Spears was from the South or whatever. They didn't even know she had an accent.
I
you know
think,
what I mean? But in rap, like I feel like people still want to know where you're from. Sometimes I feel like maybe it's a little more secondary, because before it was a lot more like where
that was the
from,
primary thing.
The
now,
hood, you know, it was way more hood about everything, you know.
Real.
So now it's like a little different, but at the same time, a music fan is gonna know where a hip hop artist is from or a rapper is from way faster than they're gonna know where any other genre. Like, that's true. Like, we all, you know, where Lil Uzi's from?
He's from Philly.
See, right? Like, you know where Pump is from?
Nah, I don't actually know. He's in Florida. He's from Florida.
There you go. Okay, you do. You know where Busta Rhymes. You know what I mean? Like, we can go down the list of like from little guys to the regular.
You know, it was crazy because like I used Bryson Tiller as an example. He's from Kentucky. Right. And I think nowadays music is primary as opposed to kind of, you know, whatever they did, their reputation, right, or wherever they came from. So, and I think with Seattle now, I think it's creating a lot more lanes when those regional boundaries don't really matter as much as they used to, right? Allowing people to just digest and take in the music for what it is instead of having a stereotype to the music.
That's what I think that, for a lot of subgenres in hip hop and rap, the regional boundaries don't mean as much, but I think that they still mean a lot, you know, especially if you're talking about like on trap type music, like it means a lot, you know, like people that get posted on certain pages that are like more like Texas pages or Atlanta or Chicago or whatever, and you know, it's way more of a trap music crowd, and they're always like, where's nigga from? Where you from? Where you from? Oh, you know, oh, he's from Seattle. Oh man, they got niggas in Seattle. You know, like,
they always ask that shit
stuff, bro.
All the time, bro.
I went over when I was at XXL. The what's her face? What's the name? The main lady there, I'm trying to think of the name.
Is she the white lady?
The editor.
The editor.
The white lady. Yeah. The main lady there, she's like, because she feel like she's so down with it. So she's like, they have black men there? She didn't say black people. She said, they have black men there? Like, she's trying to shop or some shit.
Yeah, for real.
I was like, yeah.
Nah. You know,
nah, they don't.
So, yeah, and I think you mentioned XXL. I did want to kind of get to that defining moment. I feel like every artist has that defining moment for them in terms of when you were like, okay, it's evident that this is the path for me, and this is not just this ain't an experiment anymore. This is what it is. Can you like reference a defining moment?
I mean, really, it was day one. Like it was before I started even rapping. With the music, with the poetry. That first time I wrote that poem and performed it, I was like, man, I don't know what this is, but I know I'm doing this for the rest of my life. And that was when I was plugged in. That was it. And then, you know, once I found out about music and putting the music to, you know, all of the words and stuff, then it was like, oh yeah, I'm locked in. Like, you know, it's definitely, I was already, but now I got this whole other element to it. Like, okay, yeah, we're here. You know, and then it's like, oh, there's a whole path I could take. Because before it's like, well, what do you do? You know, with poetry, spoken word, like there's not really like, I mean, there are, but there's not so much nowadays. But there's not so much of a career path that you can really, you know. There's not a lot of examples of career paths.
They don't got Def Jam poetry no more.
Nah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that used to be the one.
So yeah. So with that, it was like, oh wow, like this is attainable. That makes sense. I could really, you know, live off this. Like before, I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna work. But then it was like, wow, you know. So, but definitely, I still have like life stuff going on and everything like that. So, you know, there's the whole little ebb and flow of energies and stuff of when, you know, I take it a little more serious, and then when I'm like having to take this stuff serious. But it's always been a serious thing since day one. Where I was like, no, this is what I'm doing. But anything else around it is a means to an end.
I got you.
Pretty much.
I got you. Yeah, and I just bring that up because, you know, when people, you know, tap into the show, whether they watch it or listen to it, you know, we always try to get our guests to kind of talk about certain moments, right, along their journey, because everybody got a journey. Everybody's trying to go after it, you know. Definitely. And I think you have to. Obviously, you have to have confidence in yourself. Did you have a vision? Like, because, you know, I feel like everybody got something they want to do, but I feel like having that why, you know, knowing your why is the most important thing. Is that something that you knew? Oh, yeah.
I always think I'm like a longevity type person. Okay. I'm always thinking about the next.
Yeah,
like,
and that's important.
And the end move, or, you know, the whatever and all that stuff, the checkmate and everything. So, like from day one, I was like, well, so what I remember, I told myself that, you know, I don't need to make a crazy amount of money in this. I just want to be able to make enough money to travel the world and, you know, and have it to where fans all over the world know my music, and I could pull up into these different countries and, you know, do shows or even like run around with CDs, and, you know what I mean? It was like a very modest, very like, you know, if I'm running around like a, you know, like a old school prophet or something like that, I don't really need a lot. You know
I just want to do this shit.
You know, so that was that. But as far as like, it's always been in my heart that I would be well off and have money and, you know, like whatever. And I didn't care about money like that, but, you know, to be like financially free, you know, be able to do what I want, like buy stuff and everything, you know what I mean? Like take care of everybody around me and stuff, you know. So that always been in my heart for that. But with the music, I felt like I didn't want to taint the art by like trying to put, you know, price tags and try to get money off of it, you know. So that's why, like, I've never made a desperate move with the music. I've never made a move where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this to get this money, even if it was a large amount. I've always, like, if it didn't feel like the right move, I would just be like, nah, I don't need that.
So pretty much you gotta like stay true.
And like, I mean, and if you come in and you have that, like, you have that end goal, or you have that where you say, no, I'm not gonna do this. This is not what it's for. I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing exactly what I want to do and not, you know, cutting corners and not doing something a little off to be able to get me further quicker. Then you don't do it, you know, especially if you have a good willpower, self-control and all that stuff. Me, like, when I tell myself I'm gonna do something, or if I tell myself I'm not gonna do something, then like I do it or I don't do it, you know. So it's like, it's one of those things where
you just gotta have conviction, man.
It's like part of that grind, bro, because there's like some people that just be trying to make a hit, like, and just expect it to just blow up overnight, you know. But a lot of people don't want to like go through the whole like road of trying to become an artist and become you know?
I see that a lot, like talking to some homies and homegirls or whatever, you know, and they'll be like, man, it's not working. Like, I put the song out, it didn't hit, you know, man, I've been working at this so long. I'm like, how long you been working? Like 6 months, like, you know. Or like, even like people are like, man, it's been 2 years, man. You sit down, you know, like, you know, like,
it's a marathon, man.
It don't even matter. It's a marathon, exactly. Like, it might take you 20 years, it might take you whatever. Like, sit down. If it didn't happen yet, then it wasn't supposed to happen.
Exactly.
If it didn't happen yet, you either weren't working hard enough, or it wasn't supposed to happen yet. And so, like, you know, keep pushing it and wait for your blessing to come. You know, that's how I look at it. Because sometimes you can work as hard as you want, but it still doesn't come through just yet. And that just means that, you know, it wasn't the time for it to happen yet. That something bigger, something better is gonna line up for you. You know, it's almost like when you're apartment shopping, when you first get out the house or something like that, you're looking for an apartment, and, you know, you go, and then for whatever reason your credit isn't good enough to get the first one, or, you know, for some reason it gets swooped up before you or something like that, you know, and then you're like bummed out. But then, you know, you wait a couple of days, you wait a week or two or something like that, and then something else that's even better than that one pops up. You know, like, sometimes you gotta wait on it, you know, and it's either that or you weren't getting out there and going hard enough to get those results. You know,
being real with yourself. Sometimes you just gotta be real with yourself. Like, yo, we always say this shit. Like, you gotta set your pace and don't react to the race, right? So like, You know,
that's good.
sometimes you speed it up, sometimes you scale it back. But at the root of it, you know in your heart why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so any decision you make, whatever speed you're going at, is because it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
I like that, and that's because then you have to manage the expectations. Because if you're going to slow your pace down, then you have to understand that you're not going to get there faster than someone that's got a faster pace,
Exactly.
and vice versa. So it's like, but then you also, you got to not just prioritize, but you have to get a balance to your life too. Hopefully, cause you might have family, you might have your passion, and then you might have your money that you got to make to be able to take care of both of those things.
That's real.
Yeah.
So then you got to figure out how to divide those things, and then you got to figure out how to hopefully maybe get more money flowing so you can buy more time so you can do those things in there. So that way when you're going to a job for 8 hours, you're making double as much as you were last year. So now you can take the time or do the different things or whatever, have a job that's a little flexible so you can be able to step out and put a lot of time in this. You also then have to understand that if you're taking 50% of your time at the job and then 25% at your with the family, then you're gonna have a small amount for the passion, and that passion's not gonna get further quicker. Somebody else's business that you're working for is going to get further quicker than your passion because you're putting more time into it.
Let's talk about it, man.
I'm glad you brought that up, bro, because it really does test your passion, like to be patient and like wait for that day to come, So
you gotta exercise the most control over your time. I think that's all we're trying to do at the end of the day. You feel me? At the end of the day,
sometimes you gotta make a couple little unhealthy decisions to make some healthy ones.
That's real.
Sometimes you have to take that, only get a couple hours of sleep each night, to make it so you get more time in your day. But then at that, you're gonna have to make sure that you're clear-headed. So you're gonna have to train yourself to sleep less.
Yeah.
I don't do caffeine, but you might have to do caffeine, even though caffeine's not the best thing, for your body on a regular basis. There's research going on, but I'm sure you could tell that whenever you get something that's helping you out, you're cutting the corner somewhere. It's gonna come back and hit you later.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? So there's better ways to take in caffeine. Caffeine, like coffee or tea is gonna be better than a 5-hour energy drink.
I ain't popping them shit.
But at the same time, when you start doing it a bunch, you get dull. Even with coffee, even with good coffee, you can see people start getting headaches when they try and get off of coffee and things like that.
It's a drug.
Or you skip a meal or something. You don't even realize it, Yeah,
exactly.
It'll kill your appetite, whatever.
Exactly.
Niggas just got to be intentional with everything they do.
Yeah,
exactly. Really break it down and think is this all right? Well, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this minor L to get this bigger one.
That's real. That's
whatever.
real.
But pace yourself. Exactly.
So we got to get into it, man. I want to get into the album. Drive Theory, man. Released last week, right?
Yeah.
First of all, amazing work, man.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I do want to ask about the title a little bit. What kind of inspired the title? Why is it called Drive Theory?
So I have themes in my music, and I always like, if you see, even with the production, there'll be certain sounds that come in and out and different things, and that like display certain that come in with when certain emotions come in. With certain types of songs come on, there'll be certain sounds that'll be for there. So you'll kind of start getting the feel for like, ooh, okay, he uses this when this happens, and this with this. Okay, cool. There's certain themes that I be throwing in, here and there. Some different like religious themes and that I throw in there. That I'll be talking about all different types of religious stuff, and then some God stuff. I'll be talking about psychology. All different little themes that I have in there. And so like one of the title themes that I rock with is psychology. So like I have cognitive dissonance part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And there's a psychology term and everything. So Drive Theory, I felt like it had a feel kind of like a cognitive dissonance, where it's got that grit to it. It's got that storytelling. It's talking about emotions more so than just experiences. It's talking about the emotions that are going on behind the things, and all that stuff. So I felt like it was almost like a relative to cognitive dissonance, but not quite. It's not. It's definitely not a cognitive dissonance part 3.
Yeah. But there's similarities and parallels that you can draw.
Yeah, but then it's its own thing as well, like, because it's definitely its own thing,
Yeah, definitely.
So, because, it doesn't sound like anything I made before, but it does sound like things that I made before. So, like, bam, So I took another psychology term, and that's drive theory.
Okay.
And drive theory is, it states that every living organism and, everything and everyone is trying to get to a state of homeostasis, like a state of content, comfortability, whatever, stability. And and that the drive theory is that it has that drive and it won't stop until it gets there. So like, you know, so they keep on going. If it's not getting there, you're not getting there. So I feel like that related to me a lot, because it's one of those things where, you know, no, we're not stopping. Like I'm putting it in. We came too far to turn back around, and
Facts.
you know, whatever. So it's that, you know, it's that drive theory. I feel like it that was a lot of what was going on in the album, and a lot of what's been going on in my life, you know. So
It's all
that
tied
was,
in.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's
So
all
you got that
relative.
psychology thing. Because I seen, I forgot what video it was, but I seen cognitive dissonance. And like you had the little definition and everything in one of the videos. It was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. But
You
I
know
know
what
what
I'm
you're
talking
talking about.
about.
Though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one it was though.
But I remember seeing that. And then, yeah, so that's funny how you brought that up. But what's like, what's your approach to like making an album?
I mean, so man, my albums really just be making themselves. You know, a lot of times. With cognitive dissonance, when I dropped cognitive dissonance 1, I called it cognitive dissonance part 1, because I knew there was a part 2, because I took it and I split it in half.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so it was literally like a whole album, and I split it in half, because I'm like, man, this is already hard enough to digest. It's already talking about some hard subjects, and you know, some really like, damn, like you know, I don't ever want an album to be like, damn, man, I love you, Raz. I love this music and everything, but this is a lot right now, bro. This is heavy. This is way
It's too much for a Thursday, my nigga.
Stay true, because I mean, it's gonna be like that sometimes. It might be like definitely that, you know, like a lot of the different ones I make, the songs I make, like, nah, don't play that when you're about to go to the club. Like that, it might just throw your heart.
Yeah,
You might be crying in the car with the homies.
There's moods though. There's moods for all music, you know.
Yeah, you know, and I try to touch on all of them, because, you know, I'm a diverse, you know, I'm a person that's got a lot of different sides and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, so I got the stuff like, definitely you can go to the club to it. You can, you know, you could do this, you could do that, you could just do whatever to it. You know, I got the stuff that you could be sitting and thinking to yourself while you drive. Like drive theory is definitely more like, you know, just sitting in the car thinking, driving.
Yeah.
You know, but it's got some like, it's got some little knockers and some upbeat, like, you know, stuff that you could be feeling yourself a little too as well.
Yeah.
But it's not like just crafted for that. You know, those
sure.
things just kind of pop in there, you know, here a little bit, you know. But yeah, so it depends. Like sometimes I'll have songs that I made like 8 years ago, 5 years ago, you know, and I'll put them into the album because it goes with the story.
Yeah.
So then like I'll sit and like the tracks will just kind of tell me where they're supposed to go, and then I'll go and I'll sit through and listen through them and be like, yep, because okay, this says this, then this is telling, this goes into that story, and this goes here. Ooh, and sonically they work too.
Yeah.
So it's like they have to sonically work together, like where it sounds like this is supposed to come after this, and this is supposed to come after this. But then it also has to, like, story-wise, has to tell arching story where it's like, I want to take them here, then I want to take them here, then I want to take them here, and this connects with this one, and this way this one goes here. Okay, I want to take them here first, you know, like, then you know we'll take it here to this low spot, and then start gradually bring them up and bring them, you know, to a nice high real quick, and you know, speak some shit on the mountaintop real quick, and then take them back down to reality, because that's where they're gonna go after they listen.
That's
you know
how
what I mean?
I really got that vibe from this album. Like I said earlier, it's sequenced really well. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And I want to talk about a couple tracks, if that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
One in particular, track 2, Bodies, featuring Fast. Is that
Fast? Yeah.
Fast, yeah.
Fast.
Now, from what I took from it touches a lot about gun violence, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of that culture and whatnot. But through listening to your lyrics, it sounded like you were drawn from some personal experiences as well that you may have experienced in your life. Can you talk a little bit about that song and how that came about?
Yeah, so Fast, that's my bro. You know, we're from the same neighborhood, the same area and everything.
Yes, sir.
And so, you know, I watched him come up. He watched me come up. You know, we've been doing music and shows around each other and everything around each other for a minute, you know. And we've always, you know, had an appreciation for each other and respect and everything. You know, we rock completely different, but then, you know, we're bros and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but Fast, he just got out of prison as well earlier this year, not even just a few months back or whatever. And he was in there for a couple years, and no, I'm saying he really wasn't supposed to be, you know. So when he was in there, you know, I was trying to make sure his little man was good and everything. I got Malachi. He's a star football player.
Hey,
He's about to be pro. So watch out for him.
Seahawks, what's up?
Yeah, go wherever he wants. He's filthy, but yeah. So so you know, I'm trying to make sure he was good and putting money on his books and tapping in with him and everything like that. And because he's got such a good heart, you know, and just trying to be support, emotional support, and everything. You know, wherever I could, you know. Pick up his phone whenever he's calling and stuff like that, you know, even though I don't pick up nobody's phone, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so the whole thing we're talking about, so that happened to him, but then not even just a couple years before that, he lost his daughter, Elijah, and she got shot in the head, you know, while because somebody was trying to do whatever they were trying to do, and you know, she's in the car in the back seat, and you know, she got shot in the head, and she was just a little baby, you know. And so that was something that really hit him hard. Like he still gets emotional about it, still like cries about it, you know. And that just, you know, tore the whole family up, you know. And so having to watch that, you know, and then also watching the cast that did it, like rejoicing and glorify it, and try to count it like it's a body, like they really just got one on the, you know, on the team and everything. It was just disgusting and sad. It's like really like they're praising the cat. He's still where he's from, you know what I mean? Like they still consider him one of them, you know. So it's just like insult to injury, because it's like, damn, any cats that like say that they're from there, it's like that's what you guys condone, you know. It's really just like, that's disgusting, you know. So but yeah, so there's that, and I touched on that a little bit in my other song, Plotting, you know. It was on Trash Spirituals, but yeah, so we have a bond, you know. We have like, you know, all our bros are like, we've been through so much, and you know, so many cats that got swept up, like even this year and everything, and you know, so many cats are, you know, being taken away multiple ways. Like, you know, when we were doing some stuff for this song, we were at one of the bros barbecues that had just died and stuff, you know. And so it's just like one of those like real close to home, like real situations and stuff. So we felt like we wanted to really, you know, cover it and speak about it, you know. And it, because it goes both ways too, like with the whole bodies. It's like, you know, let's say trying to take a ride in my car while all I hear shots and screams, trying to go to sleep in this bed, but these bodies keep haunting me. It's like both ways, like whether it's your family, you know, that you lost, you know, you got that energy, that feel, that damn, like he's not here, she's not here, or I feel like she's here, you know, whatever. You know, you're thinking about, you're replaying the situation that when you were there, and you know, you're hearing the shots, or you feeling the shots and everything like that, or when, you know, when you're on the other end of the, you know, and you're trying to protect your people, or, you know, trying to whatever, do what you needed to do at that time, and you know, now you have to live with that decision or whatever. Even you know, it just kind of all sucks, because it's, you know, people cats really aren't fighting like that right now, you know. Not too much, you know, or even if they are, sometimes they get mad when they get beat up, and then come back and you know, go to the car real quick. You know?
That's really what it is.
So it just sucks, because like before, if there was an altercation and, you know, okay, all right, we square up for it and like that, you might get beat up, you might get on, you know, a cat. But either way, you know, like later on, you guys could be like, man, remember when we fought? Man? It's crazy, bro. You know,
think about it and you know, let it breathe for a while. But I brought that up because I think it's a hot topic, obviously, right? But within our communities, you did kind of share within that song, you know, how it affects, you know, not just those who were involved in situations, but also those who were in that environment. You know what I mean? If they see that on a daily, you know, they think it's okay, they think it's cool, right? So I appreciate that song a lot. Thank you. And then I got a line. I wanna see if you can catch what song this is from. I mean, you wrote it, but
we'll see.
Crunching numbers, but them. Let me do it right. I'm gonna get in my rapper mode real quick. All right. Crunching numbers, but them numbers is niggas. They crutching brothers, taking children from loving mothers, destructing our family structures. Yeah,
white collar.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Now that I heard, the whole song is dope. I love the song. I love the concept. But that line right there, man, it talks a lot about where we're at currently and the shit that needs to be talked about. Yeah, you know definitely. What I mean? Can you talk a little bit about that song?
Yeah, it's funny. So we made the sound bed. We made that song like 10, 11 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, the more I was in the underage Battle of the Bands when we made that song.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
a long time ago. That's the underage Battle of the Bands for the what's it called? The EMP.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Funny fact. I was there. Me and Saul were there together actually on that
Really?
thing. But yeah, so that was we made that a long time ago. But then I took it and I ended up writing a different verse, writing 2 different verses for it, and just took the chorus off, and let that rock. It was just a new, different little energy, but it was that same. I was talking about the same stuff and everything like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy how it's so relevant though today. Still 10, 11 years ago.
And so I remade the song, but when I remade it, that was like a couple years ago too. You know, so like the songs, like the whole feel, everything. Like I could have just took the same old verses and it would have been just the same, just relevant, just like just like today, because that's really what it is.
Yeah. No, I just love hearing. I just love hearing that because I think again, man, ain't shit changing. You know what I'm saying? And we need to see change. So and it shows a little bit about you as an artist, right? I mean, you might have fans who see you in one way, but I think it's important that you show transparency. You show them all sides of Raz Simone, right?
That's how I feel. That's one of those things I always wanted ever since from the beginning. I want to make sure that they could see the different sides. And so I remember even when I was younger, the music was really just dark and like a lot of just just really just kind of street and just dark and emotive and all that stuff. And then it's like, well, damn, like I'm a happy person too. Like I got a lot of joy, all the time. I be going through some dark stuff, but I still never lose my joy throughout it. Luckily, like I'm not a depressed person. Like I really am happy. Even if one of the homies dies or some messed up stuff happens to me or whatever, like I'll still be joyful. So but I felt like that might not come through with the music enough. And so, I'd be like, well, shoot, I just got to make more music. Because I realized it's almost like when you have a toothache. I don't know, you guys ever had a toothache or something like that before?
That's the worst pain, bro.
Like,
that's one of the worst pains.
It's on your brain, you're feeling like I ripped my tooth. Like, so you can see, I ripped one of my teeth out. Cause I had a toothache right here. I just took pliers and was like,
what?
Snatched this out right there. Yeah, so I mean,
that's real.
But yeah, like when you have a toothache, it's like everything is like it stops. You can't even think straight. You're trying to hop on the phone, telling something, call somebody. You don't got insurance. You're trying to figure it out, like whatever. Going to some clinic or who knows. You know what I mean? Like, so like and the whole time it's on your head. But then. Once they get it right, they fix it. They do whatever they do, cap it up with the white cap or gold cap or whatever they do, and it's all feeling good. The next day or like that week, you're not being like, damn, my teeth feel real great. My tooth is amazing. Man, let me write a song about it. You know what I mean? You're talking you're being the most verbal and speaking about it when it's like hurting.
You're right.
So I feel like a lot of times that's how music can be too. Like in poetry is like when something's heavy on your heart, that's when you want to get it out. Especially if you made it to where it's something that's like an outlet for you. Then it's almost like some cats get their outlet by punching a punching bag or working out or something like that.
That's real.
So if it's an outlet when you're writing and you're getting all that stuff off your chest, like you might get into the tradition, that repetition might get you into that. Like every time you're only writing when you got something that's on your chest that you need to get off. So then that can make you look like a disproportionate person, emotionally, because it seems like, oh man, all the music is dark, or all the music is this, So I caught that, a few years ago and was like, let me make sure that I'm writing when I'm happy too.
Let you see the reality.
Show it off.
Something inspires me this way. Let me show them that too, But sometimes like life just is like a lot of the heavier stuff, and you're like, man, I ain't got no sweet stuff to talk about right now.
Shit's real.
It's been like that, but like, so that was when like you have the songs like Missing Jugs and things like that, where like I was like, oh, I got good feels right now. Let me write about it, and then let me. So then, boom, boom, and that comes out. But
it's a balance, man.
Yeah,
you gotta have that balance.
Balancing act for sure.
That's an evolution, bro.
Yeah. Now I do want to also touch on, if we're in the day and age where it's a do-it-yourself era, right? And I think for young artists, they can learn a lot from you, man. And being independent, right? And so you guys got your, Black Umbrella Collective.
Yeah.
Can you, if you can, speak kind of about the emergence of the label, but also maybe talk about the importance of independence as an artist for young artists coming up who may be watching this show? Because, artists be hitting us up all the time and trying to, send us music, send us links and this and that. And that's cool. But I think ownership and being independent is probably maybe should be number one on the list, right?
No, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think so. Me, I'm a man. I never want to make another man. Like, I don't get pleasure in making another man look like he's my bitch. Or like or doing something to like emasculate another man, or you know what I mean, make him look like he's under me or something like that.
Gotcha.
A lot of cats do that. You like coming from prison standpoint. A lot of cats do that. Not even on like homosexual stuff. Just on some. Like just straight like that's what cats be doing on some like animal kingdom type stuff. Like in the hood, like cats be like like posturing and checking. Like, and that's kind of how it is. Like like apes be knocking out the bigger ape, and now they're the ape on the block. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of that, but I never been off that. I just felt comfortable in who I was, so I didn't want to. I'm not trying to push on flex on something to make a make a point or whatever. Like I'm good with my power. My kingdom is over here. I want you to have your kingdom. Your kingdom is over here.
Yeah.
You can come over into my kingdom and get some work done. We can get it going. But then I want you to be able to go back to your kingdom and go back there with some jewels. And put your people on as well. You're my people. I'm your people. But then you might have your people over here. You might have your girl doesn't sleep in my bed. You know what I mean? She sleeps over there in your kingdom. So you might have to take a few slumbers over in my kingdom to get your stuff right before you can go and build up yours. But you know what I mean, like I never want to take away that. I want you to always have your independence.
So it's to build it up.
Yeah. So with Black Umbrella, that's how that works. Like I'm not trying to like sign somebody under me where it's like, nah, you can't move, you're a slave now. Like I don't even operate with paperwork like that. I mean, good paperwork makes for good business, but like it's a brotherhood before anything. Sister, all that stuff, family. So it's like even if I have paperwork on somebody, I'm not gonna exercise it because like if you really want to leave, like then you want to leave. Like I've always been open door. That's how I rock with everything, street shit, like family, everything. It's like relationships with girls. I'm not gonna be like, nah, bitch. You signed on. You're here now.
You ain't gonna Suge Knight her. Is what you're saying.
I'm not gonna do all that. Like, nah, you can always go. So that's the same way. Like, what would I look like keeping a grown ass man? Like, nah, So for me, I always I want cats to have that independence. So Black Umbrella is different with that. It's like it's literally just trying to help people put people on and trying to help be there for people and show the solidarity of like we're here. But the thing is that also on that same token, I can bring you to the water, but I can't, I'm not going to force the water in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, like, I want you, I'm not going to enable you. So I want you to be the best you can be and be independent. And then, cause I think it's like you have independence, and then interdependence. A lot of cats just stop at the independence. People get really excited, like I got the key to my apartment, I got the key to my car, like I'm everything's right in the world, like I'm independent. And that's good. That's still beautiful to say that and to do that and to have that, but a lot of times people look at that as like, that's what's up. That's where it's at. That's what and it's just like, that's it. Independence isn't the last step. Like, it's way easier to just do shit by yourself. Like, that's easier than anything. Like, if I only have to worry about myself, like, I could do whatever the fuck I want, I'm just independent. Like, that's easy as all else. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, that's easier than being a dependent. Because if you're a dependent, I gotta play by some rules. I gotta do this. I gotta make sure. You know what I mean? Like, but independent is just like, man, that's easy. So, but the next step is interdependence. In a lot of relationships that you have a dependent person and then an independent person together. So then that dependent person is depending on the independent person, or you have two independent entities. And a lot of times people feel like that's great, and that can be great. That can be way more healthy than the last relationship that you were in. But it's still not as powerful as it could be if you were interdependent. You know, like the way that I rock, like the way I've been rocking with my homies, with my girlfriends, with my like whatever, is like your stomach is my stomach. So when we build, when we do stuff, like we're building together, you know. And so like I've been in a lead role a lot of times, and so you know, so it's like, all right, you know, this is what it is. Everybody, you know, bringing the food in. Here's the refrigerator. You know, we're all eating, making sure, you know, the leader eats last, so I'm gonna make sure everybody else is eating. You know, You know, okay, you bring the money through. The money's in the pot. The money's here. You know, whatever. You know, that's how we've been operating. So it's been a lot of like, you know, it's just a whole lot of different, you know, love and a different energy. But a lot of people, you know, it's hard for people to get to that point, or slash, you know, it's really hard because you have one person that's trying to give 100%, then you have another person that wants to only give 20%. You know, so then if you're in that, it's not gonna work, because if that person is really watching your back 100%, and then you're only watching them 20%, then you know, then now they're gonna have a deficit. You know,
for sure.
So it's like you got to get that balance. But I feel like that's the most powerful thing when none of those things are in the way. You know, and most people don't have that. Especially the more power you have, like the less it is like that. The more that you're gonna have some like weird contractual stuff, or some like prenups and this and that and that and that, because you know you can't trust this, you can't trust everybody, so you got to put a lockdown on certain things, you know. So you can't, you know, you feel like you can't share like that, but when you really have it to where you're rocking so hard that like not doesn't matter about that, like I feel like when people have kids, it should connect you like that, because you're going towards the same thing. Like you both want this person to eat, you both want this person to be good. You should be able to break things down, but even that it don't, you know. A lot of people have their separate this, their separate bank accounts, their separate that. And just in my personal, you know, feeling, it feel like that gets in the way, especially if you're building towards it forever, or if you had that person's back forever. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to the homies, like, no, I'm not finna be cuddling up with you. You know what I mean? Like you're not my girl, so it's a different type of forever. But we're rocking forever. You might go off and do this, I might go off and do this, but we got, you know, we got love for each other forever. So like it should be easy to be able to build it, you know, and look at it like, all right, well, bro, you know, a lot of times, like when it comes to stuff, like even like street stuff or whatever, like cats will be, you know, they'll get a little move, and then they'll try and make a couple dollars at the homie and be like, oh man, I got it for this, man, and lie about how much they got it for. They're trying to get some more. It's like, nigga, why you lie about it? Why don't you just say the exact amount that you got it for, and then say, I want to get this much out of it, so now we can eat together. Okay, cool. Or don't even tell them how much you got it for. Just tell them what the price is. Just tell them, all right, it's 50 cents. Like, you know, why you have to lie?
I think that makes for better business practice, though. At the same time, that interdependence. You know what I mean? Like, because then, you know, you're just being fully transparent at that point, right? Like, even if you say, hey, we ain't got it today. They know we ain't got it, right? It's a we thing, you know? Instead of saying, I ain't got it, you got it, or he got it, I don't got it. And you're not talking about that. You're not being open. So I think, that's dope. That's a dope approach.
And the more it can be family, where it's like, you know, no, I care about your kids like they're mine. You know, your kids are mine. You know what I mean? Care about you. That's moms. You know what I mean? Like, the more that you have that, the stronger that the unit is going to be. You know, that's how I feel. So, you know, and it could be hard to get there, because it has to be something that's natural that you really get to.
Exactly.
But like, if you really look at it like, nah, I love you. I have love for you. So I'm going to love whoever you love. So, you know, why would I look like, you know, taking care of my own stuff and not taking care of your stuff? You know, so when you really have that, and everybody in the squad has that, you know, and it's hard. But if everybody genuinely has that, then it's like, man, you can't fail. You know, you're not gonna screw each other over. You know, make sure everything is riding out, needs to ride, and stuff like that. You know,
that's real, man. I like that. Dropping them gems around here, man. I like that. Now, you know, you've traveled, right? You've toured a lot. What's a crazy tour story, if you got one for us? It don't gotta be no like wild shit, but
I'm about to say a lot of crazy tour stories.
If you want to
putting some of the homies out on black.
We don't gotta say names. You can give aliases, nicknames.
Man, I feel like I had a bunch too. I had some little handfuls of things. I mean, because some of the, you know, half the travels I do are like tour stuff, and half of them are like it's for meetings and things like that. And, you know, just being out there and stuff like that. One of the crazier ones that had just happened, you know, pretty recent, was it was not on tour. We were out moving around and stuff, and we went out to Mexico.
Okay.
And we linked in, you know, with this real good family out there. They took us in like we're theirs and stuff like that, you know. And then we ended up going out to like the countryside and everything. Okay. And took us to some family and all that stuff and everything. And so we ended up linking in with, you know, one of the guys out there, like one of the guys, you know.
We know what that means.
You know? Yeah.
So guys, we say it twice.
So, yeah. So he was on, but you know, so we were, you know, he didn't speak English, but we were speaking with him. You know, we were getting it in, and it was kind of funny because, you know, you could tell like, you know, he's done a lot, but you also tell like he's a family man, you know. And so his whole demeanor and everything, you know. And so he it was like we connected, because it was like we sensed the, you know, sensed some type of rapport and some type of whatever, just looking at each other's eyes and stuff, you know. So like it was a good money. It was such good money that he even sent us out with his daughters, like out late night.
You feel like he was testing you?
I don't know, bro.
I be seeing that shit, bro. Maybe testing.
It felt like that, right?
Yeah.
But he was like, you know, so they like had us go out or whatever. It's late night, like late.
Oh,
so
man.
You know, we're
precious cargo.
Like we're probably pulling back up at the house at like 3 a.m. type late. Okay. You know what I mean? Later than that or something, you know. And so we're out, and it's just like 1, 2, 3, like 4, 5 girls. Like 3 of them are his daughters. And 2 of them are cousins, you know.
Family affair.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm looking around like, why you got me out there with this, you know? Yeah. I'm like, man, don't do anything.
What I just get myself into type of shit.
You know, like I'm the only like nigga out there too. Like it's just a bunch of Mexican homies and stuff, and I'm like the only like real deal nigga though. You know, like black as fuck. You know, so I'm like, so we're going to some different bars and stuff, and you know, I'm still just being mindful of stuff. I'm still like, you know, still came the same way that I came with all the jewels and everything, you know. And I'm just like, man, okay, we're out here, you know, it's whatever. So doing our thing, and these girls just start getting lit. Like they're like going in, you know, taking shots and they're dancing and all this stuff and everything like that. And I'm just like, man, you know, so I don't know. And then talking to one of the girls, and the girl, one girl just keeps going, and she's like trying to take other people's drinks and like going at it, right? And I'm just like, damn. I'm like, and so then I'm like, how, like, is she supposed to be doing? How old is she? You know? Yeah. And they're like, she's like 15.
Oh shit!
I'm like, what the fuck?
First flight back. I'm out of there, bro.
I'm sitting there like, no, nobody did try to do anything with, you know, with these girls.
It
wasn't no kind of like, it was all like friend, cool, you know, whatever, you know.
But it changes things right there.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, and then like, you know, they're trying to do a little flirtatious stuff and stuff like that, and you're just like, first off, I'm like, I don't care if you're 30, like you're this nigga's family, like you know what I mean? Already,
I'm still trying to figure out why he would just send his 15-year-old. You know,
I don't know, but and so like, and yeah, because and they're like, Are we going to party like rock stars? We going to party like rapper? I'm just like, no.
You're like, actually, I'm not really a rapper. I'm just, you know, I'm just out here just chilling. You know?
Right. So then, like,
that's wild.
I reach over to the older, you know, because I'm like, what is this like supposed to happen? Is this like regular? Like, I'm like, do they know? Like, does she just do this regularly? Like, is this cool? Like out here? Like, huh? And she's like, no. I'm just like, then why is she doing that? Why are you doing this with us?
He thought it was personal. He's like, why are you coming for me?
She's like, no. Yeah. She's like, this is big trouble. Like, we need to sober her up. I'm like, how?
Hell no.
How? She was so blacked out. Like, she kept on saying the same exact thing. She just kept on saying, estoy bien. Like, all night. I'm just like, oh my fuck. Like, and meanwhile, like, we're trying to give her water, just have her on that. But meanwhile, she like, you know, you like turn your head for a second, and quickest hands just going, and she take a drink and take your drink.
And you don't know her like that to be like, hey, chill.
Nah.
So you just like,
hell no.
Fuck, what the fuck can I do?
And meanwhile, you got all these dudes up in here, like looking, you know, just like seeing, like looking some type of way. I look back, you know what I mean? But
They probably knew that she was the daughter of him. You know?
Exactly, because
like,
everybody knows. Everybody knows, you know. So, but they're like looking, like seeing what's up. It's like they're like, they don't know what I look like, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely not gonna tell it. I can't do nothing at this point, you know. But I'm just like, I'm still trying to be like, stop. But like, what can I really do? You know what I mean? So
that's crazy.
We ended up getting out of this bar. Like I think we got kicked out because they kicked her out. And so then like we went out, got to the cars. I'm like, what's the plan now? You know, and they're like trying to figure stuff out, speaking Spanish, trying to get it right. And I'm like, man. Then this nigga pulls up on us. He pulls up on me.
Oh no.
I got the other sister in my backseat, right? This is the other sister, the daughter, right?
Oh shit.
So and she's 17. So I'm like, this is just a huge mess.
Can we get one over 18?
Right.
We got two.
No, then there was like one that's like 28, one that's like 25. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's a little balance.
But it's still,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
this full grown ass nigga pulls up to the side of my shit, right at where I'm at, and just like, and he's just looking in the car. So I'm looking back like first off I'm sitting there thinking, man, what the fuck? They got me out here naked. Damn. Like out of town, fully out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This cat's pulling up on me right now. Like, man, I'm gonna have to do whatever I have to do, man. I am the gun today. But so I'm sitting there like still, you know, just hold my ground, just like looking at them like just like, what are you looking at? You know, so I'm just staring at them like this. And then she rolls the window down. It's her boyfriend / ex / whatever. So he's a grown ass man. She's 17. So she hops out and like goes and like whatever. At first she's staying in the car. I'm like, you better hop out. I'm the driver, so he's thinking like, I'm coming through, big black dick man coming in the dicker moving down like, you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there like, man, you know, I'm fully out of bounds right now. Bro. You know, this is not the move.
You're representing the whole black community out there, bro. That's what it sounds like.
So you feel me? So I'm just like, man, I'm sitting there like, man, I'm not gonna say nothing right now because it's gonna make me look like a bitch. You're not gonna understand me. I'm not gonna understand you. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut right now. But it sucks because you probably think that I'm trying to get your girl.
Yeah, it's not like that.
And it's not like that at all. So I hope that you just talk to I hope she gets out the car. She's like, no. Finally gets out the car. They go hit the little corner and like have a heated discussion right like, you know, behind us or whatever. So we're still like, what's going on? Like, you know, still like it's still on high alert. Anything can happen right now.
It's like chapter 4 right now.
Gotta be on high alert.
Anything can happen right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting like, then I got the cousin. She's older. She's like around my age or something like that. She's like, she can speak the best English, and I'm talking to her like trying to talk a little English, a little Spanish, whatever. And we're talking, and I'm like what is that? Like what's going on right now? Like
yeah.
And she's like, so that's her boyfriend, her ex, like. She's not supposed to be with him. She's not supposed to be here. But like she's like pretty much she's taking advantage of the night to be able to go and like link up with him.
Exactly.
But he had just got beat up by her dad like a few days ago or something like that last week.
Oh shit.
So he got her dad and got in a fight. The dad beat him up and said, "Don't you ever, don't fuck with my daughter. I'll kill you."
And you just let her go.
And now
You
and now
up.
on my watch, she's going.
Damn, you just fucked up, bro.
So on my watch, the 15-year-old daughter of the guy, the fucking king, is out here getting drunk as all else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now his 17-year-old daughter is over here linking in with her grown-ass boyfriend that's not supposed to be her boyfriend that he just beat up.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
Goddamn.
So I'm sitting there like, this is a whole heap of a mess, So
goddamn.
Anyway, so we go and so we're waiting for this to happen or whatever and get over this. And in the meanwhile, got the other 15-year-old hopping out. Estoy bien. Everywhere.
Here she goes.
Trying to get some more alcohol, like just blacked out. God. So it was a mess. And so then, we finally try and go and get some food or whatever. And her boyfriend's driving with her. So it's still bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also, so he owns like all the police officers out there, So he like already like linked us in and all this stuff and everything. And so like we had already seen these guys, like, so the police officers like see me and they're like, hey, whatever, they give me the nod or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because they're not police officers, they're really just gangsters. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So but they're out there and they're watching what's going on. So I'm sitting there like, man, like they're about to report back. Like we're hopping out to get some food or whatever. The police are at the corner, you know, and I'm just like, nah,
God damn,
man. Like, how is this gonna turn out? You know what I mean? Like, and we're staying over, you know, and they were leaving. So like, you know, in their little mansion and stuff. So I'm sitting there like, man, this is just not good money. You know, it don't feel good. But anyways, it ended up being that what's it called? Oh yeah. So then while I'm talking, you know, I'm talking to the one, and she's like, yeah, my family. She said, yeah, there's a lot of corruption out here. You know, the politicians and police, a lot of corruption. You know. My family's corrupt, very corrupt. You know, straight up. I was like, yeah, well, I knew that, but good to get that confirmation. I'm like, is there a lot of guns out here? You know, because different places you're at, sometimes it's not really that. It's different, you know. Like when I was in Belize, there's like more machetes and stuff. You know, people can pull up with the machetes and stuff. You know, and so like I was trying to feel out what it is. And she's like, oh yeah, no, lots of guns. Yeah, they shoot you. Yeah, thanks.
He's trying to get the in detail.
I'm like, oh great. She's like, yeah, a lot of people just shoot you for nothing. Yeah.
Oh hell no. She don't even know what the fuck she's doing right now.
You know, it was all bad. But anyway, so I'm like, oh, cool, good to know. Yeah. So anyways, we ended up going and getting back to the spot. She's still drunk as all else. We get up, we walk in the spot. There's an auntie in a wheelchair. She's just sitting there like you've seen the movie. She's sitting in a wheelchair, the lights off. And like she turns on a little light.
A little light when you walk in.
What? She's like, oh,
it's like Breaking Bad, bro.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? And like, we go over there. Oh man, how's that? You know, man, yeah, the night was good. Meanwhile, they are going over here, and I'm like, you guys are stupid. Like, they're of course gonna know. Like, it's your family, like the aunties, the dad, everybody knows what the fuck is going on. They're not stupid, right?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, while we're talking to them, they go and they slip and they try to slip her drunk ass up the little stairs, not the little long ass stairs of this mansion spot, and up to her spot and get her into bed and like whatever. So I'm sitting there thinking like, nah, they really knew. But next day they're like, nah, they didn't even know. So like they snuck her up in there and it was like good money, I guess.
Damn.
So, and you're here to tell the tale, bro.
Meanwhile, I'll tell you real fast too. Meanwhile, before this happened, the night, you know, the like hours before this happened.
Yeah.
You know, so hours before this happened, he was showing us he has a whole other mansion just for his lion. Just a lion, just this white lion, you know. And so anyways, he's showing us this line and everything like that and everything. So, you know, he's got it all like kind of corralled and locked up or whatever. And then he kind of let her out or whatever, you know. But she has this whole mansion to run around in. And got a pool, a bar, like all this shit going on.
Is this Pablo Escobar?
So he's showing this stuff, but and so half the family is like, no, don't try to get close. Like it will get you. Like don't like it's not good, you know. And then the other one's like, oh no, it's fine. Like I remember when she was just a little puppy, you know, little cat. Like it's good, you know, it's good. You know, it's like one person's telling us it's good, like everybody else is like, nah. So I'm sitting like maybe they're just trying to play with this and like scare us, you know, But maybe, you know. So I'm like trying to, get it in my head. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, shit, like. Well, shit, we here now, like, in the door. So I step in the door, like, my cameraman, like, a lot of the homies stay outside. Oh, yeah. And I get up in the door, like, I'm in the mansion. There's no anything else. It's just us and the line and shit. Yeah. So then, like, I'm like, you know, I operate, like, the Animal Kingdom stuff. So I'm like, man, you can't ever show fear. Like, I don't got no fear in my heart. So I'm like, I don't got no fear. I'm also not going to try and show too much contemplation because that could look like a stutter or like it's, you know, some fear. So I'm like, shit, we're in here. So I start walking forward, like, you know, chest out, just walking forward like I'm getting up in that bubble, like you're going to respect me type stuff, you know. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but so clearly once I get all the way up in there, I'm that close. I start thinking, nigga, I'm a nigga. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm like, I don't even got no weapons on me. You know,
that's when the senses start kicking in.
But I'm still sitting there like, nigga, shit, we're here now. I'm not gonna get crazy about it. You know, shit, I'm gonna hold my own. Like I'm gonna stare at it. You know, so I'm staring at it. You know, and then the homie, he's like, it's not even about braveness. He was just being a dummy. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go pet it. Yeah, you know, he's like, I was like, bruh, are you sure? Like everybody else is speaking Spanish and telling us like don't, like it's deaf, like don't. You know what I mean? He's like, man, no. He's like, I love animals. Animals love me. That's what he says. So
this ain't Lion King, nigga.
So he goes and he starts like, he's just like, he's one of them guys where sometimes he be like, his mind is off in some other little la you know, for a second. But the other times he's way sharp. But this is one of them la moments, you know. So he went and starts walking up to it just like regular and like that. And I was like, hey, you know. And meanwhile, like they're like using little sticks and stuff to corral it and stuff. Yeah. You know, and now they move the stick out the way or whatever. He goes up and was like, hey, you know, puts his hand, you know, right there, like where is that, you know? And like then like kind of like touches it a little bit or whatever. And then it was like you saw that moment where he was kind of like, let me get out of here real quick. You know, like what was I thinking? This is way big, way close. Wasn't as fun as I thought it would be. So like he, you know, he steps back. He's right at the pool too. He's like, there's like a middle divider, and he's like standing in the middle stuff. And so he goes like to, you know, now pull back, and the lion goes, grabs his arm with the claws, bites his arm. The nigga got bit by a lion, bro. Like, bro got bit by a lion.
What the?
Yeah. And so, like, he got a whole little, like, like, two, like, he's got big old mouth. Like, two, like, one's on his forearm, one's on his, you know, bicep, you know, like, holes and hole, you know, and this stuff, and a little scratch, you know, whatever. And, but then, like, so he jumps back, and then she, like kind of moves back a little bit. Yeah. But then, he, like, is moving quickly to get back to where I'm at, right? Yeah. So now he's coming back toward me, but I'm like, damn, we're still hella feet away from the entrance. Yeah. We're like, you know, like a couple, like 2 basketball 3-point lines.
It's a mansion, over. So it's huge.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing? And then at this point, like, I can't dash and run. Like, hell no. Because then I look like a bitch. Now she's about to come and tackle me and eat me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was cool with you. Man, I was waiting for this dark meat to come up in here. You know what I'm saying? Like hell no. So I'm sitting there like, I got to hold my ground. I got to at least, like, make it think like I'm about to whoop your ass if you come up over here. I got teeth too, you know, like that's how I start thinking. I'm like, you know, like, you know, so I'm just sitting there like, we can't make any sudden moves. Like, I'm just like, and at that point, I'm like, I didn't lose any kind of eye contact. I'm just looking at it like this, you know, staring at it like that, and just trying to be big like this. And everybody else is at the door, like with the door like almost shut, like cracked like this, because they're not trying to let it get to them. Yeah. So I'm like, man, we might be through. Like, it was one of those times where I was like, damn, we might be over. And that was when I just had that feeling. I was like, man, I don't never like to do anything that can make me die if I don't need to. You know what I mean? I'm not even trying to bungee jump or jump out of a plane, because even if there's like a 1% chance or a point% chance of me dying, like there's enough things out here that are extreme enough that, you know, that are life or death situations that we partake in for survival each day, that I don't need to go and subject myself to something for no reason. That's real. So I just had that feeling where I'm like, damn, I'm here. How did I get here? You know, man. They're like, what the hell? Like, yelling at. So now, you know, it's commotion because it's really real. And that's when I'm like, damn, she didn't know what she was talking about. Everybody else knew what they were talking about. This is nothing to play with. You know what I mean? I started thinking about, damn, how many times, since he got to be the guy, he's doing all this other stuff, how many times you think that he even comes and feeds her? No, his son feeds her. So that's the only person that she have somewhat rapport with, but man, he stopped feeding her. He probably eat him up. You know what I mean? So like, so it's not like he had control over the situation, because he's not. She don't see him.
But you're looking back on it now.
So I'm looking at through everything.
But at the moment, you're like, oh man, they take care of this lion. Who the fuck would have a lion not take care of it, right?
I was still thinking them thoughts when I was in there, but it was like, we're already in here. I can't even back up. You know what I mean? But then I'm really thinking them like, nigga, you knew that. You already knew that. That's when it's like, damn, you know.
That's wild.
So yeah, man. So anyways, that happened, and now we're just trying to figure out how you know, what to do, what the exit plan is, and stuff like that. And they're like trying to tell us stuff, and so they try to run up on it, but she, you know, she's dodging, and she starts going like this. Then she starts going and walking back and forth like that stalking stuff. Yeah. Walking like this and looking at me. And I'm like, you probably are looking at me. I'm the tallest, you know, you never seen something that looks like me.
We're gonna take out the alpha male first.
I've definitely never fed you. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. Like, that's how I felt. Like, just looking at me like this and looking. So I'm just looking back like, but still just being like, what the fuck, you know? So, anyways, like, they run over and open up the little gate to get up to the like the upstairs or whatever. There's like a foyer, like a little, what's it called, balcony thing, and or whatever. And he's like, under there, you know. And I'm just like, because I'm still far away.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, how should I do this? So I slowly go. I slowly step onto the bar. So now I'm like up high. I'm watching real quick, and then I'm just looking. I just make a little jump move, and I kind of start trying to casually act like I'm walking off cool.
Yeah, it's hard to go fast.
Yeah, trying to
run to be like,
time. Yeah.
Oh, what's up? You know, like one of those.
I ain't scared. I just gotta go that way.
Exactly. That's what it felt like. So
the speedball kicking.
we going like get up and jump, get up in the fence and everything.
Yeah,
And then now we're up in there on the balcony just like watching.
That's
and
crazy.
now she had ran up and she's like right beneath us, just now really walking back, stalking us. Like we're still thinking like, man, they got hops. Like you seen cats jump. Like look at a full grown tiger lion cat.
Real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting like she's gauging how she's gonna make this jump. If she's gonna jump all the way up for her, she's gonna jump and hang and then grab.
Yeah.
Like so I'm sitting there like we're still not good. We're still not good at all. You know what I mean? Bro's over here bleeding like fuck. Man, you know.
Yo, this is a fucking movie, bro.
Bro. And this is
is a
before we went out with the girl.
Oh my god.
So, so it's already like, man, he could have, if we did the wrong move, he could have just, put the homie up in the,
Right.
Hey, you about to stay the night with the lions.
Like, I'm acquainted with that line. I know what's up now,
Man, so.
Man, bro, well, shit. I mean, that's
crazy.
one hell of a story or stories.
Yeah.
But
it was a great
answer to
trip,
that.
though. It was a great trip.
Yeah, for sure. Sound like it was.
So,
Man, bro. Yeah, that was wild. I gotta let that soak in. But yeah, man. I do want to kind of veer into kind of what's on the horizon for you, before we kind of wrap things up. But I just want to give you a chance to talk about some things that, fans and those who are watching and listening can look forward to when it comes to Raz Simone.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to let Drive Theory, sit and marinate, let people marinate with it, ruminate over it and everything. And even though I really want to drop something new and keep it going. Because I look at it like all the different songs I have, I feel like it's certain things that can help certain people at different times, whether it's like the theme song or, the music they wake up to or, what they listen to in the gym or, or like when they're going through some, like one of the homies, one of the fan homies had just hit me up and he raps too, he's filthy, and he was like, man, like just listening to, he said Just Begun, the first track, he's like, bro, like that just really made me put everything I'm going through into perspective, and like, man, if you can make it, I can, and like, and I was
that's the best thing in the world,
cool,
right?
Exactly.
When
I told him, I was like, man, that's the best feeling right there.
Yeah.
It's so dope. You can, like, I just inspired you and encouraged you, and now you inspired and encouraged me. Like, because I was sitting there like, bro, last night I just went through some crazy shit, and I happened to open up your message right after I went through the crazy shit. And now, I helped you with your crazy shit. And now you telling me that I helped you with your crazy shit is helping me with my crazy shit,
You get what you put out, man.
So it was just one of those things like, damn, that's dope. It's like a gift that just keeps on giving. I was like, man, I appreciate that, bro. That really helped my night, help turn things around a little bit, So it's like, that's why I be feeling like, man, I don't want to hold the punches, because there's so many that I have that I know that could, man, this could, if that helped you, this could really help you in this case, So I really want to be putting them out like that, but I also need to let it sit and let people get through it and, digest it and all that stuff before I'm just force feeding people.
You want to be intentional and somewhat strategic too about timing and when you put out music, because I mean, as much time that goes into making it, right, you want to make sure that you're putting it out at the right time as well, right? Yeah,
especially like I be putting a lot of hours into like making sure that the soundscape, everything feels right, and all the mixing and all that stuff. I'm hands on with everything, so definitely it does take a lot of time getting it. It's natural, but then taking the time, like really finessing it and making sure that it's sounding perfectly for everybody, and all the weird little instruments and sounds that be putting in everything, But
yes, sir.
But Drive Theory was. It's funny because like a lot of people like, man, it's dope. Like the sequencing of it is great. Like it's so multi-dimensional. You touch on so many different little things and there's cool little sounds and all that stuff. But it's funny because in comparison to what I have coming out, Drive Theory is so not multi-dimensional in comparison. So I'm excited to drop the other stuff where it's like, because like in Drive Theory I'm hardly even singing. In Drive Theory I'm hardly even I'm not taking it to as many different levels as I can, even though I feel like it is a classic album. I feel like it's rounded out. It does everything it's supposed to do.
for album, but just as far as like what I know and what I have to drop, what I'm ready to drop, I'm just like, I'm so excited because there's so much of a diversity in, the catalogs to come that it's like, this is dope. And I know it's gonna touch a lot of people and touch on, some of the older sounds and newer ones and things that haven't been heard before, and and keep on telling the story and everything.
Hell yeah, man.
And go deeper into deeper emotions, and that's where it's like, damn, that's a really great feel, because if it already helped you here, then imagine when I go here in this deeper corner right here, and that to me is like, that's exciting. So yeah, so I got a lot coming to come. I have multiple albums already lined up, ready to go. So
we waiting for it, man. We waiting for it.
Yeah, we're gonna be tapped in.
Hell yeah, man, for sure.
Good money.
Now I do want to leave you with this last question. I always ask this question to all of our guests. It's a great way for you to kind of sum up everything we've been discussing today and what's on the horizon, right? So if you can, my brother, what's one word to describe what keeps you on the up and up?
My people. Family. Yeah, that's what I say. I was just talking about this with people, and I was saying, like, if you really want to make it, and you want to be successful in whatever you want to be successful in, especially if you're an empathetic person that feels for others, then you have to set a goal that's not selfish. Because if you have a goal that's selfish, for me, like, I'm not gonna go as far, because I care about myself, but I care about the people around me a lot more. Like, I'm worried about everybody's safety and trying to make sure everybody's good. So like the things I do, I go harder for somebody else. If something's happening, someone's trying to do something to my mom, I'm gonna go way harder than if someone's trying to do something to me. If someone's trying to do something to me, I have an option. I can step back, I can do this, I can do that, whatever. I can wait till Wednesday or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, if someone's trying to do something to my mom, it's over. You know what I mean? It's over. And same with other people. Like, if we're walking down the street and someone tries to do something to one of you guys, like, just everything in me is gonna go way harder to make sure that doesn't happen, because I'm sitting there like, nah, you're not finna do that. While I'm sitting there and you're about to try to treat somebody around me, nah, it's not gonna happen. So I'm gonna go way harder. So I feel like if you make those goals, for the people around you, people that you care about, and then it's like you're gonna keep on going, because there's more people than yourself.
Exactly.
It's easier to get yourself to a good place.
It's gonna grow as far as who you can impact, who you can reach,
and it's gonna grow. And then the bigger the heart that you have, and the more people that you care about. Like me, I care about everybody. I love everybody in the world. So it's like, there's a lot of work for me to do. So it's never gonna end. I'm never gonna get to a plateau where I'm like, wow, I did everything I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna be that. So I feel like that's key.
People.
So it's people.
I love that one
for sure.
I love that one. I'm never gonna pin one answer that someone else had to another one, but that's a good one. I really like that one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We just wanna thank you, man, for being a guest and sharing your story, which is important, man. I think that's the biggest thing we try to tackle here on our podcast and our platform is these stories matter, man. Everybody got a story, and it's about trying to find ways to take your story and maybe inspire others and show a narrative that people probably don't often see, right? When it comes to rappers, right? They, you know what I mean? You're multifaceted, and you've been through a lot, and you found a way to create a lane and help others, right?
Yeah, no.
So thank you for that, and you got something you wanna?
Shit, man.
Drive Theory.
Here,
Drive Theory.
Tell them where they can find it on all platforms.
Drive Theory. Yeah, you can find it on every platform.
Yes,
if you go to Instagram, the link in my bio is there. But it's everywhere.
Yes, sir. Drive Theory out now. Again, amazing project, and
Thank you.
I think it's safe to say Raz Simone is officially a member of the UpNUp. Can we get a round of applause for my brother?
Oh, my. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.